What's up, y'all? It's your boy Dab Day up in the building. I got very special guest. Yeah, he's a poet, entrepreneur. He is the great Fayetal Tyler, aka Mr. Fayetal. How you doing, brother?
Man, how y'all doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So we're gonna talk about a very special topic. We're gonna talk about the Tyree Nichols case. We're gonna talk about Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, and these so-called alpha males. So without further ado, brother, let's get into it. Hey, it's the Black Evolution. We back. Turn up. All right. In all seriousness, though, let's get into it, brother. So, Tyler, Mr. Fayetal, I'm sure you've heard about the killing of Mr. Tyree Nichols. So, I just want to let you know, what are your thoughts on that, brother?
Man, I just hate that. I mean, not that it makes it better, but it does make it worse that it came from 5 black cops. And it shouldn't have happened in general, like first and foremost. Although I hate to see that a lot of black people are basically using this as a means of justifying uh, their own justification towards white crime. Even though I did just say it's a shame that it was 5 black cops. Although I just feel it's unfortunate that it happened, and it shouldn't have happened. Tyree Nichols, I mean, as they were going over it, I mean, he was the father of a 4-year-old son. He had a family, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he took up, regular activities. Like, he had passion. He was a skateboarder. I think they said he did nature photography. And he was employed, too. So, I mean, it's not like, and he was just literally in town. And, I mean, I don't know, man. It's unfortunate. At a traffic stop, too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Over a traffic stop, and they just came out there. I saw the video. They coming up in there. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get your punk ass out the car. I'm like, what? What? I was like, oh, that's crazy. Y'all doing all that mess. That's unnecessary. I'm just like, oh my God. And then, of course, the protests are happening all across the country. And that's just, I just want to say this. My final thoughts on this situation is we need to stop police brutality, hold these people accountable, and just, take care of these cops and everything. Just, deal with them. We're going to get justice for Tyree. And we're going to hold these cops accountable, have them be charged, and be put in jail for life. That's my
I'm gonna
thoughts.
be real with you, man. Like, that charging and shit and all that is cool, but like, I feel like ain't no change gonna be made unless it's an actual emotional impact. And when I say emotional impact, I mean, like, I feel like they need fear put into them, and like, not even like a threat, but just like the possibility of like them having repercussions, like physical repercussions, not just, oh, you get tossed in jail or a paid leave or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
if you were able to physically defend yourself against the cop by law, you know what I mean? Of course, if you weren't the person provoking the situation, I feel like if they passed a law that allowed you to defend yourself against cops physically, I feel like that alone would scare cops into just not even, you know what I mean? Not even.
Well, technically, we can defend ourselves against the cops. We have the Second Amendment right, brother. So.
Yeah, there's always a technicality, though. But, I mean, we say that, but then we end up getting locked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, shoot, man, look at Tupac.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then, yeah. So, what do you feel like your final thoughts on the whole Tyree situation is about change of things and stuff? Like, what are you go into a little more detail with that?
I feel like, only thing we can change. The only thing we can change is our minds, And like I said, I feel once cops either start getting the same treatment or the same violence inflicted upon them, or the threat of violence inflicted upon them, where they just fear it. It doesn't even have to be, the power of them. The mind is a powerful thing, man. Like, it's like, all it takes is for them to believe that your repercussions are real, which they should be real, which makes it worse. But if they were to believe that physical repercussions were real, that's all it would take. They'd be too scared to do anything. Of course, they have guns, but if there were laws that allow civilians to protect themselves against cops, and not just anybody, specifically the law for cops, I feel like that would put the fear of God into them. And I feel like that wouldn't, in turn, make a lot of this cop killing cease.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, brother. How we need to make changes and we need to stand up to the cops. That's what we need to do. So let's go into the second topic, which I know you've been talking about this dude for a long time, Mr. Kevin Samuels. And yeah, you want to talk about? We were talking about Kevin Samuels and everything off the air a couple of times, and just recently he passed, and then there was a quote unquote new version of Kevin Samuels, Mr. Andrew Tate, and he recently got arrested and everything. So, what are your thoughts on Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, and overall the alpha male culture, brother?
All right. So breaking down that question from the beginning, I respect Kevin Samuels, and R.I.P. man, because he was a great man. He was doing a lot of great work out. And as far as the manosphere and all this red pill community stuff, he was like the godfather. And I respect a lot of the work he did. He was not only trying to better women, but there was a lot of things that people didn't see where he was trying to better men. That's how he started out. In response to Andrew Tate, I wouldn't even call him a modern day Kevin Samuels. I'd just say he maybe is one of the many that fill the void. But nobody can replace Kevin Samuels. I'll say Andrew Tate is the more, maybe the more brash version, the more social media savvy version, the 3.0 maybe. Except I don't even want to call it the 3.0 because there's a lot of things that Kevin Samuels said that I'd say I 90% agree with. And Andrew Tate, I'd say probably about 70% I agree with a lot of his ideologies. But Andrew Tate, on the other hand, is a wild card. He doesn't have the, at least the outward class that Kevin Samuels had. Although if you look at Tate's history and Tate beyond just his podcasts and streams, he only displays that and character is in a social setting. When he is by himself or with his brother or with his servants, his people of service, sorry, he basically is not the same person. In addition, I would say Tate, I respect Tate in a lot of his ideologies, but I say I disagree with a lot of his ideologies beyond what I would say I could disagree with Kevin Samuels about. They are very similar, but they're not one and the same. And as far as this whole manosphere and red pill and alpha male like ideology goes, I feel as if there's a lot of truth to it, and there's also a lot of cap to it. Because I mean, like, let's be honest here. Like, there is such thing as an alpha male, a beta male, and a sigma male. That's been a thing. These have been terms before Kevin and before Andrew. But the thing is, it's just in this day and age, those terms have been overused and misused and in the wrong context. And I feel as if there's a lot of things that Kevin pushed um, about alpha male and masculinity were more poignant for men, you know, than Tate. And I respect Tate. I love Tate. I watch a lot of, well, I can't say I watch him directly. I watch him through other people. But a lot of things that Tate said are poignant as well. And you can take away a lot. But I would say the difference is that Tate does it with more of a return in as far as like, what am I going to get from this? What am I going to get from teaching? It's like, I feel as if Kevin was sincerely genuine about what he taught. And that's not a knock to Tate. But, I mean, I'm just taking it how it is. And I love both of them. But as far as, alpha males and masculinity goes, like I said, I believe it's a thing. I do. But you shouldn't have to go around toting, or wearing alpha on your forehead to prove you're an alpha. As a matter of fact, those that do that are the most beta, in my opinion. You shouldn't have to prove you're an alpha. You just are. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's a lot of the things. A big part of the ideology that I agree with as far as Kevin Samuels and Tate goes, because Tate says pretty much the same thing. He just goes about it in a much more brash way.
Yeah, so when my thoughts on Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate and stuff is this. When I first listened to Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, I'm like, okay, they have some truth to what they're saying. But for me with Kevin Samuels, sometimes it can come across like, I feel like the reason why people didn't like him is because he was alienating his audience by just, it's like the tone and the way he said it. And I'm like, okay, there's some things I agree with Kevin Samuels with. There's some things I don't agree with him with. Like the whole high value men don't cheat. We're exercising our options and stuff like that. And I'm just like, well, number one, if you're a real dude, if you're the real homie, if you're the real alpha male, then you have a woman and stuff, you don't really need to cheat. If you don't want to be, with the woman, just you alpha, so you just basically say it like, hey, I don't want to be with you no more, and you walk away. That's it.
That's a good point.
And yeah, I agree with Kevin Samuels on the fact that, hey, you got to become a high value man, a quality man, and all that really means is you just take care of business, you handle your shit. That's really all it means. Like you make enough money, you make income and stuff like that, take care of your business and what have you. And of course, yeah, you have to look in the status and whatever, but ultimately what it really means is you handle your business, and if something, happens and stuff like that, you are the leader. So you have to be the one to protect, provide, and do all those things, and just overall handle your business. That's all. That's really what an alpha male is.
Yeah.
So Andrew Tate, my thoughts on him is, okay, he's a little bit over the top at times and everything. Yeah, I don't really like his rhetoric. Say, oh, women should just shut up and bow down to me and all this stuff. I'm like, if you have to say that, then that means there's something wrong, bro. Like you saying, oh, shut up and obey me. I'm like, okay. Do you really think a woman's gonna go for that? Yeah, you keep saying, oh, they're gonna submit. I'm like, well, first of all, what have you done to make them submit? Oh, I got money. I'm like, okay, every man has money. Lots of men have money. What are you specifically gonna do to make her submit? It's not just about, oh, I have money and stuff like that. She should automatically submit. It's like, nah. So I agree with some things, but I don't agree with everything with both of them. As far as the alpha male culture is concerned, I feel like, hey, everybody uses a term now, and it's cool to say, I'm an alpha male. I'm an alpha male. And I'm like, if you have to say you're an alpha male, that really means you're not. Like, who are you trying to prove? Like, you're not you're not proving anything but to say, I'm an alpha male. I'm like, you're not really alpha male if you have to say it. You prove it by your actions, like about what you do, how you carry yourself. Not just you saying, oh, I'm an alpha male. I'm like, nah. That's my thoughts on the whole alpha male culture and everything. My question to you, Mr. Fayetal, is why do you think this whole red pill, manosphere, alpha male thing came about, and why do you think it became such a such prominence, in this day and age?
Um, I do feel it was a good thing for it to be because it provides representation. Representation for men, which we did not have for a long time. I'll tell you, the civil rights movement was long before men's rights, of course, but this is not the same era or the same day and age, and I feel like it's become a solid reversal of what it used to be. I feel like we have all the same rights as women, and women have all the same rights as us. But I feel like, as far as socially, I feel like women gained a higher, how do I put this? I feel like women gained an upper hand socially, just specifically because of what's between their legs.
Mm.
And say that because when they say P runs the world, it really does. All the wars in this world have been fought over women or money. And what does money get you if it ain't a woman? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, all the wars, all the catastrophes that have happened in this world, everything, unless natural disaster, can damn near be led back to the efforts to get a woman, and that's how it is. And I feel like since the roles are reversing now, and men are starting to realize that it's not just a one-sided thing, and men deserve the same respect, loyalty, love, and dignity that women receive. I feel like it might have been pushed a little bit too far in this manosphere age. I feel like people are taking it a bit, out of context as, where it was originally meant to be. But I do feel like it's a good thing overall because, we at least are represented now. We have a voice, you know what I mean? Before, and still, honestly, to this day, men aren't looked at as emotional beings, even though we are. You know what I mean? If we want to be honest here, like, we have feelings just like women do. Even though women are the emotional creatures and we're more the logical thinkers, that doesn't mean women don't have logic. That doesn't mean men don't have emotions. Both things can be true at once. And I just feel like it's been a lot of black and white. And I feel like we're just now starting to explore the gray area. And the manosphere is a great way to do that. It's an opportunity to explore all the gray areas and what we haven't explored or discovered yet, or what we have, but we just haven't been willing to put in the effort to look into. And I feel like the red pill community and the manosphere is great because, like I said, it offers a voice. As long as the conversation continues and is held open, you know what I mean? There's so much more to learn. There's so much more to cover. And not wrong with that, but, what's wrong is wrong. There's so much more to be shut down. That's the conversation's got to be held open. You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah.
You can fine tune a man, down to his characteristics. And as long as you're looking to better yourself, I wouldn't say that, incorporating yourself into the manosphere is not more of a copy and paste thing, but it's more of a notch on your tool belt. You're just looking for the right tools at the right time, and you're just adding tools to the belt. You know what I mean? And I feel like the manosphere has greatly helped with that in the past, I would say, 4 to 5 years.
My thing with the manosphere that's rise to prominence, I'm like, okay, I agree with some of them what they were saying and everything, and I feel like, hey, it's great in terms of getting the conversation out there, having different opinions and what have you, and that's a great avenue. But of course, you have the disagreements and what have you. But overall, I feel like some people take the red pill, the manosphere out of conflict, what's out of context. There you go. That's what I was looking for. I got kind of tongue tied for a second there, but some people just take out of context like, oh, all the males feel they hate all women. It's like no, no, they just
Yep.
telling you the strategies and everything, and telling you to adapt to different strategies that people play or the games that women play. So it's just like, hey, you got to be aware of these things. And especially with this hookup culture that's going on, I've told people I've seen it. I've told people for a long time that when it comes to the quote unquote dating culture, there is no dating culture no more. It's almost completely non-existent. It's there,
You're
but it's
right.
really hard to see. Like basically, it's like we don't live in a dating culture no more. We live in the hookup culture. Everybody wants to
That's
hook up.
very true.
Oh yeah, slide in the DMs. Yeah, what you doing? Yeah, come Netflix and chill with me. Yeah, yeah, have sex. Yeah, that's basically what it is. And it's a hookup culture, and I'm just like, we've gone away from the dating culture to the point where I've gone out to different bars and lounges and stuff. It's like people don't even know how to socialize.
Oh
Everybody's
yeah, you're
on.
right, man.
Yeah, I've been on the apps and stuff like that. I've used the quote unquote dating apps. And I'm just like, well, they're okay, but I'm just, oh, it's January. I'm just like, all right, it's 2023. I've done this for a while. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
It ain't
Trying
working.
to
It ain't working.
nah.
Yeah, that's my thoughts on the whole manosphere, dating culture, and the whole alpha male. Like people feel like they have to say it. I'm like, if you have to say it, then that means you're not it. Like that's the most beta thing you could do and scream at the top of
Right.
your lungs. I'm the alpha male. I'm in charge. I run
Right.
this. Women
And
submit. I'm
that's
like,
that's how I feel about men who have to control their women, which is also a downside to, you know, it's one of the things, like in the 10-15% that I don't agree a lot, with the red pill community. Is, one of the few things is a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people in the manosphere have been on is, controlling your woman, or not even controlling necessarily, but implying control and being, the main decision maker, which although that is your role as a man, the implication from a lot of the manosphere YouTubers is to be in complete control. And if you're not in complete control, you just exercise your options and just leave. And that can't necessarily be always the case. And you can't always control your woman. You know what I mean? And well, you can, but not in every situation. You can control how the situation comes about, or you can control how you react to the situation. You can't control freak, and that's a lot of the problems with the manosphere and the red pill community. A lot of people take it too far. They want to have 100% control, and they just want to be with a woman who's there to serve them and meet their needs. And women are people too. You know what I mean? Like, they have emotions. Everything goes with emotions. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason that they're here. There's a reason that we're here. And I feel like the sooner that we both come to that understanding as equal genders, and we realize our roles in this world, I feel like the sooner and the better thing will be. But I just don't think it'll happen anytime soon, because I mean, hell, man, this earth has been spinning for millennia, and I don't think that's been a thing. But I mean, I'm glad the conversation is opening now in our era, because hell, man, I feel we're the first generation to open up this dialogue. I
yeah,
don't think it's been a thing before. It's either been completely shut women out or completely shut men out, and it's not been an open dialogue. And I feel like the more that we can discuss these things between the two genders, without being offended, and just have open discourse, I feel like that'll lead to a lot of progress between both of us.
yeah, I could definitely agree with you on that. And I also feel like the manosphere kind of basically tells people what you need to hear instead of what you want to hear. Unlike a certain dating
Yeah,
coach, Mr. Derek Jackson,
Jackson.
Yeah, that man
T
is.
Jackson, what's happening?
I mean, what are your thoughts on him and the whole him cheating on his wife
Man,
twice?
please, man.
And
It ain't no thoughts about him. It's just facts. You feel me? Like, man, that man. But that's the thing, though. Like, that's another thing. You know, like when you were saying, you know, like good things about the manosphere and bad. One of the good things about the manosphere, and I don't even think it took the manosphere to see this. Any man, any actual man, could see or could have seen that man Derek Jackson was straight cap, man. Like any man saw that from the jump, man. Like, you know
especially
what
with
I
the
mean?
language he used, like, oh yeah, all women are queens, and this and that. You need to do this, and
Right,
if ugly man will let
right.
another man have her, and you shouldn't cheat, and just pandering, just the
Telling you everything
nonstop
you want to hear,
pandering,
man.
man. Like,
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's following like literally 90% female. You know what I mean? You know, of course, it's always those type who get exposed, and they get exposed for doing the exact thing. Can't prevent it, so you know what I mean. But the sad thing is that you know he still has a lot of followers, and he will. He will. You know what I mean? Because objectively speaking, as an attractive man, you're gonna garner attractive women. And objectively speaking, Derek Jackson, as an attractive guy, he's jacked as hell. He's buff. You know what I mean? He's literally got a symmetrical face. Everything that you would figure. You know what I mean? Or that a woman would like in a man.
yeah,
He has, except his personality, and that's the one thing. But that's another thing is that the atmosphere, you know what I mean, tells you what we look for first. Men looks first, but women will tell you that it's about like his personality, but no, we all as humans go off of looks first. And they saw Derek Jackson, they heard everything they wanted to hear, nothing they needed to. You know what I mean? And they saw good looks and a fake personality. But when that fake personality was exposed, the good looks remained. And you know what I mean? They just chose to believe that he was something he wasn't. And I mean, hey, he's still, divorcing his wife right now. And
yeah,
he's still women support him. But, it is what it is. Things we have to accept. And people also have their own timeline. You know what I mean? Like, people
yeah.
will come to their realizations. They'll have their epiphanies at their own pace. And, we just have to realize that it might not be our pace or it might not be our time, but it's allow others to come to their own realizations and grow at their own pace.
Yeah, so closing out this podcast episode about the manosphere and everything, the whole alpha male culture. What are your final thoughts on the whole gender war, quote unquote, and the divide between man and woman on relationships and what's going on today? Like, what's your final thoughts on the whole manosphere
Oh, shoot.
community?
I mean, my final thoughts remain, pretty much the same. I just feel like, as long as we continue this dialogue, and keep it open, the more there is to learn. And regardless of all the arguments that come between that, I feel like as long as you're learning, you know what I mean, eventually you're going to, I wouldn't say that you can learn everything, but I would say eventually you're comfortable understanding of how these things work, how life works between the two genders, in context of each other individually and as well as together. But I also, I rep, team male, we males over here. I still got to rep the guys, man,
Yep.
But hey, I'm going to always be down for the guys, man. But hey, women out here, man, there are women out here trying to spread the same word in the same atmosphere, the manosphere. There's women in this manosphere and this red pill community that I feel like guys should, check out. There's a lot of men in the blue pill community that I feel like guys should check out, because it's not just one side. You know what I mean? I feel like, because me personally, I watch red pill community things, and I also watch blue pill community things on YouTube, because I feel like a balanced perspective, you know, or not even a balanced perspective, but your own perspective is more important than copying and pasting someone else's. You know what I mean? I'm very adamant about that, extremely, and I feel like, you know, your own opinion is vital to, if you want to argue or debate about anything, you first have to have your own opinion. You know what I mean? You can't just copy and paste someone else's, because when it comes down to copy and paste the explanation, you have no true pattern or connection to the topic or subject at hand. And I feel like if you watch or put yourself into two perspectives, all perspectives that you can, I feel like you'll be a more well-rounded individual, and I feel like both men and women need to do that. And closing up on that topic, I just feel as if we were to magically all 100% of people in the world were to, you know, watch a good balance of both, or be influenced by a balance of both, I feel like it would be a much better place. I feel like men and women would understand each other better. I feel like men would understand themselves better, and women would understand themselves better. And I feel like, you know, self-understanding is the key to understanding others. Because intuition, you know what I mean, it's not taken for granted.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, brother. And my final thoughts of the male sphere and the alpha male community is that, hey, we all have disagreements, but the one thing remains the same. When you're an alpha male, you take care of business, you handle your stuff, you do what you need to do as a leader. And hey, you know, may have disagreements with the whole gender war and everything else, but at the end of the day, both men and women need each other, you know, because that's how we still need to populate. We still need to have more children and stuff. We still need to have relationships and meaningful connections and stuff. So whether you red pill, blue pill, black pill, whatever, you know, we still have, at the end of the day, we still need relationships and stuff like that. Now, some people say, oh, you a beta male. No, I'm an alpha male. I made that very clear. It's not just by you just saying it, but it's by your actions. I take care of my business. I do what I need to do. But that's my final thoughts in the manosphere and final thoughts on that topic. And I just want to say, make sure y'all tune in to the Black Evolution. We turning up. We coming out better, stronger, more powerful each episode. We're going to have more diverse topics. We're going to talk about things that no one even dare talk about. It's your boy Dabadale and Mr. Fayetal. We signing off. Hey, 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 hey. Tune in.
Tune in.